What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another market breakdown by ForexBlade. And honestly, let's get right to it. So, first thing is last week I called the Eurjpy drop right here. And as you can see in this analysis that I have right here, I actually drew this and the arrows while I was on a phone with a client. Was just trying to show them how the strategy works and everything. But so we called this trade, right? If we go to Eurjpy, you can see you would have been also in profit, right? Now, one thing you guys got to notice is that, we haven't taken profit yet. And the reason is I want to show you guys why Eurgjp, Eurusd, and JBP, Eurjpy, and Eurusd are all still have room to fall. I'm trying to show you guys how exactly I do it, just so you guys are more aligned with why I come up with these numbers and, why I decided to, go for a sell. So if we go over here, we're looking at the daily at first. That's how I usually start looking at the charts. We have two huge trend lines right here, one up here, the black, and then the red, that have been respected for, months. If we go to the months, and, all these trend lines are really, have been supported for a really long time. That's why, they're respected. But if I just show you, my chart real quick and why I decided that this is still going to drop. If we're looking at the daily here, first off, price broke through the zone, not only broke through it, but decided to close underneath. The EMAs have crossed over right here, but didn't quite cross over there. So if we go back to the 4-hour chart, you guys can see that there's kind of resistance right here. Price, bounced on this area, and it seems like it's bouncing on it again. However, I still see room for it to fall back to the red zone, maybe do a spike. But if we look at the 15-minute chart, right? My theory is that this could potentially rise back up to the zone and then drop. So if I draw that up for you guys, it could potentially go up to this zone of 128.37 and then just drop down here. Or it could simply, this could have been its little pullback, and excuse me for that, and it could just drop for this week, right? So going back to that is my analysis for Eurgjpy. Why? And let me go back to the 4-hour. It's a little hectic, but let me draw up a Fibonacci for you guys to kind of show you where I'm coming at right here. So if we get the Fibonacci tool, here we go. Not your smooth. If you take body to body, right? It's no coincidence that price is respecting the 0.78 area right here. And price has bounced on it. This time, couldn't break the 61, but it broke the 61 this time. Now, if you know that Fibonacci's, not a lot of people know too much about it, but the 0.61 is a very crucial level. So it being broken, like I said, when I said it could be rising up, it's no coincidence that, it could be rising up to the 61 and then dropping back to the 1 area, okay? But so let's move on to the next chart. Excuse me. So you see, price still hasn't, tested the 200 EMA. Now, this was a huge, so if I move this, this is a huge fake movement up to the upside, and you can see price EMAs crossed over right here, and price broke through the trend line again. So what I'm expecting, like I said, you guys can kind of see the rhythm between all three, is that price could possibly drop, touch the EMA, rise, get rejected by these two EMAs, and then continue to drop. The first to take profit would definitely be around right here. This is the trade right here. The sell trade was from last week, so I'm keeping it there. But if you were going to take profit, so for example, let's look at this body to this body, right? It's no coincidence right here that the 61, like I mentioned, is aligning up with the EMA. And so if I move, let me show you why. So if we're right here in this area, okay, where the 61 is at, and you have from this area to this area, and the reason why I chose this area is because you can see price, had trouble after that huge rise. It had trouble over here, and then bounced on it, used it as resistance at first, and then used it as support, and now we're back into this area. Take profit would be, at the 61, and it just matches right here perfectly where I said you want to take profit at, which would be around 0.877. So price could rise up a little bit before it drops. Looking at how market is working after this drop, we could see a huge rise up, but that could be for the future, not now. I don't expect for price to just consolidate and then rise up just yet. I expect it to drop for Eurjpy and Eurjpy so far. So yeah, take profit is still from the old one, so 0.8806. If you wanted to, swing trade it, 0.877 would be your take profit for this sell. And moving on to Euro USD. You see, guys, I didn't even mark up these charts before I, started this market breakdown, because I wanted to show you guys exactly how I do it from the start. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take too long if you know what you're doing and the chart is clear to you. So continuing on from right here, first off, on the 4-hour chart, you see the 200 EMA is very respected. Back in November, as soon as it touched the EMA, it precisely dropped. And, recently, in November 19th, it, it crossed over right here as a fake movement, but we called this sell. And, it's been very respected, and EMA has just crossed over. This is on the 4-hour chart. You can see it's kind of having trouble here in this area. And I had this area actually drawn up on the, so if I go to daily, right, this is the Fibonacci. And let me explain this Fibonacci that I had a while back, right? So this Fibonacci is from this area that I have from wick to wick, right? And, I had this back in June, July, really. And, in my Fibonacci, the only numbers that I like to focus on is the 1, the 78, and the 61, and the 0. And, the negatives or the opposites of those are very, very crucial. And, drawing from this, it's always very respected. And right now we're at the 61 Fibonacci level on the daily, which means that, it just so happens to align with my zone that, this area is very crucial. You can see that it bounced on it back in August, and then it bounced on it in October, and it broke through it as a, fake that we caught, and we caught the upside of that if you've been taking us. But you can see there's kind of a channel going on over here, right? And now it's kind of hard to view it on the daily, if you guys want, a weekly trade. But from what it seems like over here, it looks like you guys can kind of clearly see it too as well. Is that you know price is just go between that channel and the EMAs has not crossed over to the upside yet, right? There was an attempt right here back in November 18th. However, price couldn't break it and actually tried to retest it. So if I zoom in right here, this is a pretty solid trade. EMA is crossed over, so let me move this real quick. EMA is crossed over right here to the downside, again to the upside, downside. So when that happens, we actually teach this in the course, but this is a double. It couldn't break the top, and now it crossed over to the bottom. So what's going to happen is I can see this very easily just, either going up a little bit, following Eurjpy, Eurgbp, and dropping below both these levels. So it definitely could be breaking this support right here of 1.12165. However, this could just might as well just drop down completely, or drop down and then retest this area and then continue to drop down. But either way, this looks like a very clear sell to me. It's just a fake move that happened over here that we, were aware of, and we called this trade since last week. And, so far, if you've entered since last week, you are already in about 60 pips, right? But we're here for a longer term than that. We're actually going to go down. And that's the best part about these market breakdowns. I can easily, talk to you guys as to why I'm giving out these, free signals and why I'm looking at the market the way I'm looking at it. But so Eurusd, you can kind of see the rhythm of all three right now is that they're all going to be dropping, right? If you're in the XRP call that I, called out, you could be negative. I'm still in the trade. I'm actually very happy that price acted like the way it did, and let me explain to you why. This actually wasn't even supposed to be a part of the breakdown, but for you guys that, are in XRP, this is why I'm still going over it. You can see price every time it reaches this level, it spikes the 36-cent area, and it again did it again right here, which is a huge sign that this could be rising up. And you see this trend line right here is still very, very respected, so I'm still going to have that. So price could really just consolidate and then fly up for XRP. So it could just consolidate right here and then fly up, break through it. First target for that would be around the 57 cents area, and second target for that would be around the 69 cents area. Now you guys can see that my green, trade is actually all the way up to the $1.39, and the reason why is because actually, if you really wanted to enter in a trade, $1.20 area would be crucial. However, looking at the very long term, I'm already calling this right now before it even happens, is that XRP will not only reach potential highs before February 2019, but it could possibly happen before 2019 even starts. So yeah, I'm very, very confident on XRP and where it's headed. And I can definitely see this, being one of the biggest gainers of the cryptocurrency market. And I'm calling it right here before, anybody else does. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this market breakdown. Let me know if you have any questions in the Telegram. Feel free to message me privately. And, I'm very, very excited on these trades. If you guys look at the charts and what I drew up, you guys can clearly see where the market is heading, just like I do and my team. But so farewell. and I'll talk to you guys later.